My wife of 3 years went for a couple's massage with her male colleague and hid it from me. It was just another ordinary Tuesday when I came home from work, weary and ready to collapse on the couch. My wife, Emily, was bustling around the kitchen, humming a cheerful tune as she prepared dinner. The scent of her famous lasagna wafted through the air, instantly lifting my spirits. We've always had an amazing marriage, built on trust and an unbreakable bond of friendship. Emily is not just my wife, she's my best friend, my confidant, my everything. We sat down for dinner, laughing and sharing stories about our day. Emily had just returned from a work trip, and she seemed genuinely excited to be back home. I remember feeling a surge of happiness, knowing that we were back to our usual routine. Little did I know that a tiny package, delivered a week later, would shake the foundation of our relationship. The package arrived on a bright Saturday morning. It was addressed to Emily, which wasn't unusual. She often ordered things online, little trinkets or books, but this package was different. It was from a spa, a place called Tranquil Oasis. Curiosity piqued, I handed it to her. "Hey, Em, you've got a package," I said, watching as she opened it. Her face instantly changed when she saw the contents. It was an anklet, a delicate silver piece that she had worn on our honeymoon. The sight of it filled me with nostalgia, but Emily's expression was far from nostalgic. She looked panicked. "Where did you get that?" she asked, her voice a bit too high-pitched. "It came in the mail, from a spa. Why?" Her eyes darted around, and she took a deep breath. "Oh, right. I must have left it there when I went for a massage." "When did you go for a massage?" I asked, puzzled. I couldn't recall her mentioning it. "On my work trip, remember, I told you I was going to unwind a bit. I must have forgotten to mention the massage part." I nodded slowly, trying to remember. She did mention wanting to relax, but I didn't recall anything about a massage. And certainly nothing about leaving behind an anklet. "Okay," I said, accepting her explanation for the moment, but something didn't sit right with me. The nagging feeling stayed with me all day, growing stronger. That evening, I decided to bring it up again. "So, you went for a massage, huh?" I asked casually as we watched TV. "Yeah, it was really nice. I needed it after all those meetings," she replied, not taking her eyes off the screen. "Did you go alone?" I asked, trying to sound nonchalant. Her body tensed slightly. "Well, no. There was only one slot available, so I ended up sharing it with a colleague." "A colleague who?" Mark," she said quietly. Mark. The name hit me like a ton of bricks. Mark was her colleague, someone I had seen a few times at work parties. He was always cold towards me, barely acknowledging my existence. And now, I found out that Emily had shared a couple's massage with him. My mind started racing. "You never mentioned this to me," I said, my voice betraying my growing agitation. "I thought I did. Maybe I forgot. But it's not a big deal, honestly. We just had a massage together because there were no other slots." "Not a big deal, Emily. You went for a couple's massage with another man and didn't think it was worth mentioning." She turned to look at me, her eyes wide. "Why are you making such a big deal out of this? It was just a massage. Nothing happened." "Nothing happened. You went for a couple's massage, and you didn't think it was important to tell me. You even left your anklet there." "I didn't leave it there on purpose. It must have slipped off, and I swear, nothing happened. We just had a massage." I wanted to believe her, I really did. But the fact that she hid it from me gnawed at my trust. It was so out of character for her. Emily was always prim and proper, never crossing any lines. Why would she do this? "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked, my voice breaking. "I didn't think it was necessary. I didn't want you to overreact, like you are now." "Overreact, Emily, this is serious. You went for a couple's massage with another man. How do you expect me to react?" She sighed, frustration evident in her eyes. "I don't know what else to say. I'm sorry if it upset you, but you need to trust me. Nothing happened." But how could I trust her? My mind was a whirlpool of emotions. I felt betrayed, confused, and hurt. Should I trust my intuition and dig deeper, or force myself into believing her? The days that followed were tense. Emily and I tried to go about our normal routine, but the atmosphere was charged with unspoken words and unresolved feelings. I couldn't get the image of her and Mark lying side by side in a spa out of my mind. It haunted me. One night, as we lay in bed, I turned to her. "Emily, I need to know the truth. Did anything happen between you and Mark?" She turned to face me, her eyes filled with tears. "No, nothing happened. I swear on our marriage. You're my best friend, and I love you. I would never do anything to jeopardize what we have." Her words were sincere, and I wanted to believe her. But the seed of doubt had been planted, and it was growing roots. "Then why did you hide it from me?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "I was scared. I was scared you would react exactly like this. I didn't want to hurt you." "But you did hurt me, Emily. By hiding it, you hurt me more than you can imagine." She reached out to touch my face, but I pulled away. The pain was too raw, too fresh. "I don't know how to make it right," she said, her voice breaking. "Neither do I," I replied, turning away from her. That night, I barely slept. My mind was a battlefield of emotions. I loved Emily, and I wanted to believe her, but the trust had been shattered. Could it be rebuilt? In the days that followed, I decided to dig deeper. I needed to know the truth, no matter how painful it might be. I started by talking to some of Emily's colleagues, subtly asking about the trip and the spa visit. Most of them seemed oblivious, but one person mentioned seeing Emily and Mark leaving the spa together, laughing and talking. The more I dug, the more unsettled I became. I found out that Mark was recently divorced and had been quite the ladies' man at the office. This only fueled my suspicions. One evening, I confronted Emily again. "I talked to some of your colleagues. They saw you and Mark leaving the spa together." She looked at me, her eyes wide with shock. "You what? You talked to my colleagues?" "I had to. I needed to know the truth." "Do you trust me so little?" she asked, tears streaming down her face. "I don't know what to trust anymore, Emily. You lied to me. You hid things from me." "I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you everything." "Same difference. How can I trust you now?" She broke down, sobbing. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I never meant to hurt you. I love you more than anything in this world. Please believe me." Her tears and pleas tore at my heart. I wanted to comfort her, to tell her everything would be okay. But I couldn't. The pain was too deep. We decided to see a marriage counselor. It was a difficult decision, but we both knew we needed help to rebuild the trust that had been broken. The sessions were tough. We had to confront our deepest fears and insecurities. I had to face the fact that my trust had been shattered, and Emily had to come to terms with her actions and their impact on our marriage. Slowly, we began to heal. The counselor helped us communicate better, to express our feelings and fears without judgment. Emily reassured me time and again that nothing happened between her and Mark. She even offered to quit her job if it would make me feel better. I didn't want her to quit. I wanted to trust her again. One evening, after a particularly intense counseling session, we sat down and talked. Really talked. "Do you still love me?" I asked, my voice trembling. "More than anything in this world," she replied, her eyes filled with sincerity. "Then why didn't you tell me? Why did you hide it?" "I was scared. Scared of losing you, scared of hurting you. I never meant for it to get this far. I need to know that I can trust you again, Emily. I need to feel safe with you." "And I'll do everything I can to make that happen," she said, taking my hand. It wasn't easy, but we began to rebuild. We started small, with little acts of trust and honesty. Emily would tell me about her day, who she talked to, what she did. I started to believe her again, little by little. Months passed, and our marriage grew stronger. We learned to trust each other again, to communicate better. The incident at the spa became a distant memory, a bump in the road that we had overcome together. Emily and I are stronger now. Our love has been tested, But we came out the other side, more and resilient than ever. The road to recovery was long and arduous, but our commitment to each other never wavered. In the months following the spa incident, I found myself growing more introspective, trying to understand the depth of my own insecurities and fears. Emily's dedication to earning back my trust was unwavering, and I could see the toll it took on her. She became more transparent than ever, often going out of her way to reassure me. While part of me was relieved, another part felt guilty for putting her through such scrutiny. Our counseling sessions became a cornerstone of our healing process. Dr. Martin, our therapist, was a calm and wise guide through our turmoil. He encouraged us to confront not just the incident, but the underlying issues that had led us to that point. One of the most eye-opening exercises was writing letters to each other about our feelings and reading them aloud during the sessions. This exercise brought a depth of vulnerability and honesty that was both painful and cathartic. One day, after a particularly emotional session, Emily suggested we revisit some of our favorite memories together. She believed that reconnecting with the happier times would help us remember why we fell in love in the first place. We spent a weekend visiting the places where we had shared significant moments, the park where we had our first date, the little cafe where we often had brunch on lazy Sundays, and even the spot by the lake where I had proposed to her. Those moments reminded us of the foundation of our relationship: love, trust, and friendship. We laughed, reminisced, and even cried together, but it felt like a necessary step towards healing. As time went on, the incident at the spa faded into the background. It was no longer the looming shadow that threatened our happiness. Instead, it became a part of our story, a testament to our resilience and commitment to each other. We grew stronger as a couple, learning to communicate better and support each other in ways we hadn't before. Emily's job situation also changed. She decided to transfer to a different department, where she wouldn't have to interact with Mark regularly. This decision was entirely hers, and it came as a relief to both of us. Her new role was challenging, but it offered her a fresh start, away from the painful reminders of the past. Our evenings together became more intentional. We made it a point to spend quality time with each other, whether it was cooking dinner together, taking evening walks, or simply sitting on the porch, talking about our day. These small acts of togetherness helped rebuild the intimacy that had been strained. One evening, as we sat on the porch, Emily turned to me with a thoughtful expression. "You know, I've been thinking about us, about everything we've been through." I looked at her, feeling the familiar warmth of her presence. "Me too. We've come a long way, haven't we?" She nodded. "Yes, we have. And I realize now that the spa incident was a wake-up call for us. It forced us to confront our fears and insecurities. But it also showed me how much I value our relationship and how much I'm willing to fight for it." I took her hand in mine. "I feel the same way. I never want to lose you, Emily. You're my everything." Tears welled up in her eyes, but this time they were tears of gratitude and love. "Thank you for giving us another chance, for believing in us." As the months turned into years, we continued to grow and evolve as a couple. The trust that had been shattered was slowly rebuilt, stronger and more resilient than before. We learned to navigate challenges together, always prioritizing our relationship and each other's well-being. Our marriage wasn't perfect, but it was real. It was built on the foundation of love, trust, and unwavering commitment. And as we faced the future together, I knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, we would face them together, hand in hand. Looking back, I realized that the tiny package delivered on that bright Saturday morning wasn't just a test of our relationship. It was an opportunity for growth. It taught us the importance of honesty, communication, and never taking each other for granted. And for that, I was grateful. Emily and I are stronger now, more connected and in love than ever before. Our journey wasn't easy, but it was worth it. And as we continue to write our story together, I know that whatever comes our way, we will face it with the same resilience and determination that brought us through our darkest days.